Hello and welcome to another iceberg video. Now, this is either going to be the last video of 2022, or if I'm lazy, the first video of 2023. Today, we've got a new episode of Pokémon Showdown, and this episode is going to be with an entirely new custom team. Just like last time, we're going to be using Squirtle, and here's how this is going to work. If I can guess the Pokemon within 8 tries, I can either take its final evolution into my team, or I can skip it. If I don't get it within 8 tries, I have to skip it. Also, to make it more interesting, I have a limited amount of skips. Let's say 3. As I continue making guesses, I should be given some more hints as to its gen, its type, and other things like that. So without further ado, let's get started with... Who am I going to start with? I'm going to start with Tepig. Starting right at Gen 5, and it is a pure type. It is later than Gen 5 and larger than Tepig. So my next guess, is it going to be, I'm just going to guess its type. Is it either a ground or ghost type? It is not a ground or ghost type. It is Gen 6. So who can I guess from here? Is it either a poison or water type? It is a water type, and I do think this could possibly be a starter. Is it Frogadier? It is not. It is larger than Frogadier. I actually have no idea who this Pokemon is. Okay, it took a bit, but I think I might know who it is. Is it Clawitzer? It is. That is going to be a very good start for my team. So I'm going to be setting up my team in the Gen 9 National Dex. So what should the item be for this one? I'm going to say, let's go for the Rocky Helmet. Why not? As for its moves, I do want to get some stab moves in there. Crab Hammer could be a good one. I'll take Sludge Wave. You know what, I just realized Clawitzer's attack isn't really that good. So we're going to try and take a closer look at its special attack. I think Hydro Pump might be a good option. I've got Sludge Wave. Do I go Ice Beam or do I go Blizzard? I'm gonna go for the Ice Beam, because it's a bit more accurate. And maybe a status move? Are there any good ones here? I guess I'm just gonna go for Toxic. Increase the HP and special attack, and I think we can move on to our next one. Round 2, and I'm going to start with Piplup. It is Gen 4 and it is a water type. So an ideal start here. Now that I think about it, it might not wait. No, it's not. It's smaller than Piplup. I was about to guess Palkia for some reason. You know what? I'm going to figure out its other type. Is it either a poison or ground type? It is not. Is it either a bug or ice type? It is not. 0.3 in height. I really don't know who this could be. I'm going to continue guessing for now. Is it either a flying or steel type? It is not. So it is something then water, and it's very small. Okay, I'm going to take another guess here. Is it either a psychic or fairy type? It is not. I have no idea what its other type would be. I'd take a couple more guesses at its other type. It is not a ghost or dark type. I'm thinking it might be normal, electric, rock, or dragon as its other type. Is it either a normal or dragon type? I'm going to take one more guess at its type. It is not. So I think it might be a rock type. You know what? I have no idea who it is. Who is it? It is... Wow, I was not thinking it would be a Rotom. My next guess, I'm going to say Tranquil. What do we have here? It is a normal type, and it's earlier than Gen 5. It could be a pure normal type as well. Is it Linoon? It is a pure type. It is Gen 4. Is it by any chance? It's got the same height as Tranquil, so it isn't Licky. So this could really go to anyone. It's not Bidoof this time, but that is pretty close. Why can I not think of a normal type that isn't Bidoof or Licky for some reason? Is it Glameow? No, it's not. It's 0.5. What's interesting is that it is heavier than Linoon. It is supposed to be a pretty memorable gen, but I really cannot think of any normal Pokemon. Wait. Is it Munchlax? It is. Now, I think in the previous custom team, we had a Snorlax, so I wouldn't mind having him back in my team again. So let's get him in and see what we can do. I think Body Press could be good. He's more of a physical attacker than a special attacker. Actually, it says that it uses the user's defensive stat as the attack and damage calculation, and our defense isn't really that good. It's surprising that Snorlax's special defense is much better than his physical defense. So you know what? I'm not going to go for that. I'm going to go Earthquake. Gonna say Heavy Slam could be good. A lot of powerful attacks. I'm going to go for Body Slam. And for the last move, I'm going to say... I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to go for an Ice Punch. Extra HP and extra attack. And as for the item, I'm going to go for the Heavy Duty Boots. I'm going to stick with immunity on this one. Even though I have the Heavy Duty Boots, this could still work against Toxic, I think. Alright, so my next guess is going to be Yanmega. So it is a Gen 4 Pokemon, and it's smaller than Yanmega. Could be a pure type. Is it Bidoof? It is a pure type. And it's between Bidoof and Yanmega in overall size. So I'm going to guess it's typing. Is it either a poison or ground type? It is not. Is it either a fire or water type? It is not. Is it a dragon or fighting type? It is not. In terms of height, it's between 0.5 and 1.2, so not as massive as I thought. Gonna take another guess at its type. Is it a grass or dark type? It is not. Makes it a bit harder to get. Is it Pachirisu? No, that's 0.4. Type. It could be Cranidos. It could be Cranidos. It is not Cranidos. It is 0.9 though. And I have one more guess here. I still haven't figured out its type either. Is it Mismagius? It is not. It is Luxio. That is another big miss. Could have gotten a Luxray out of that. Gen 4 is really not my thing. Alright, so for the next Pokemon, I'm going to say... I'm going to go for a big one. Is it Torterra? It is not. It's earlier than Gen 4. I'm going to say Gen 2. Is it Girafarig? It is Gen 2. Shorter than 1.5, and we still don't know its type. It could be a pure type. I think it is. Is it Misdreavus? Is it a ghost type? It is not, but it is a pure type. I feel like it's easier to guess dual types. Is it either poison or flying? It is not. Is it either water or electric? It is not. Is it either fire or dark? It is not. So in terms of height, it's between 1.2 and 1.5. And the weight's between 41 and 75. I do think this could be a fighting type. Is it Hitmontop? It might be. It is not. 1.4 in height though? I'm not sure who this could be. It's not Pineco. Is it Granbull? It is! Is Granbull good? I have no idea if Granbull is good, but you know what? I'm gonna go for it. It's got a decent attack, but it's not that good at everything else. So there is an item that has worked pretty well last time, the red card. Rattled could be a good ability, Quick Feet could also be a good ability. So what moves can we use? I'm gonna say Play Rough. That is a stab move. So I'm gonna go Earthquake, Stone Edge, and maybe a status move. I'm gonna go for Thunder Wave. Alright, so we've upgraded the HP and attack on this one. Every other stat looks horrible. Alright, who's next? I guess another Gen 4 Pokemon. Is it Kricketune? It is not. It is earlier than Gen 4. And it's not a Pure type this time. So is it Piloswine? It is Gen 3. Is it either a grass or dark type? Is it Shiftry? It is a grass type. Is it by any chance Tropius? No. It has to be something then grass. Who on earth is that? It might be Cradily. And it is Cradily. That's another Pokemon that I haven't really had a lot of experience with. But let's see. Special defense is pretty good. It is a bit slow, though. I'm going to say the leftovers could work. This Pokemon cannot be forced to switch out by another Pokemon's attack or item. Or the Pokemon draws water moves to itself. The thing is, there's no doubles battles in this one. So Storm Drain wouldn't be as good. Let's go with the Suction Cups for now. I'm just gonna go for the Earth Power, Earthquake, Energy Ball, and Facade. Actually, no, I won't. Because Earth Power and Earthquake aren't stab moves, so what rock types would be good? Meteor Beam is a 2-turn move, but I'll replace that for Earth Power. Another physical sweeper. So let's see, who do we have next? I'm gonna go on to Gen 5 now and go for Excadrill. So it is earlier than Gen 5. Could possibly be a pure type. Is it by any chance Grottle? It is a pure type. It is earlier than Gen 4. It's between 0.7 and 1.1 in height. Is it Politoed? Okay, it's not Politoed. Is it a water type? It is not. It is Gen 3. So I'm going to guess its type. Is it either Poison or Psychic? Excuse me, Poison or Fairy? It is not Poison or Fairy. I'm gonna take 2 more guesses here. Is it either Ice or Ghost? It is a Ghost type. Is it Bayonet? It is not. How big is it its pre-evolution Shuppet? It is not. It is supposed to be between 0.7 and 1.1. So what other ghost types are there in Gen 3? Is it Duskull? It is Duskull. So the final evolution of Duskull in this case would be a Dusk Noir. It's got good defense, but it doesn't have good HP or good speed. So this one's more of a bulky Pokemon. We could go for some more, I guess, status moves with this one, maybe? What status moves do we have? Maybe Calm Mind? Trick Room could be a good one. And in terms of attacking moves, it's got better physical attack than special attack. So I'm going to say Thunder Punch and Poltergeist. Another bulky physical sweeper? Why not? Now moving on to our last Pokemon here. And my first guess is going to be... I'm going to say Lucario? Okay, so we've got its height right. It is later than Gen 4. And it could be a pure type. Is it, by any chance, a normal type? I kind of hope it isn't. It is, but it's not a pure type. And it is Gen 5. Let me take a look at its height. 1.2. Is it Tranquil? Oh, that's 0.6. Unpheasant's 1.2. It is Unpheasant. Do I go for this one? I might have to be a bit cutthroat here. Because apart from a couple, this roster seems very mediocre, and I don't think Unpheasant's going to make it better. So I'm going to go and skip on this one. We're going to move right on to the next one. I'm going to say, is it Gastrodon? It is a ground type. It could be a pure ground type. Is it Mudsdale by any chance? It is not. It is Gen 8. It is a pure ground type. Is it Sandaconda? It is! Okay, I'm really happy with that. So let's see what Sandaconda can do. It's got some pretty solid attack and solid defense as well. I'm going to go for the Blunder Policy. I'm going to try and make it interesting. I like Shed Skin. This Pokemon has a 33% chance to cure its status at the end of each turn. I'm going for this one. So this one is more of a physical attacker, so I'm going to go Earthquake, Stone Edge. I'll make it interesting with Hurricane, and I'm going to say Drill Run is what... Wait, did I just see... Is that Terra Blast? I've never heard of that move. I'm going to stick with Drill Run. So let's take a look and see if this team is good to go, and we are ready to fight. It'll be interesting to see how we do. And we're underway with the first game of the episode. Gonna start things off with Sandaconda, and my opponent is gonna go for Metagross. I'm gonna start off with an Earthquake here. Metagross down to the yellow, Toxic in response. And Sandaconda just gets out of that Toxic quickly with the Shed Skin. And the Earthquake takes down Metagross this time, first KO of the game. Cinccino heading right out. Gonna go for an Earthquake again. Bullet Seed, that could be good. It's a multi-hit move. It does put Sandaconda right onto the yellow, and the Earthquake puts Cinccino onto the red. Cinccino's gonna go first here. So this one might take down Sandaconda, and it will. So we get ourselves level here. Clawitzer is going to be up next, and I'm going to go for a Sludge Wave. They go for a switch onto Melodic. Something tells me Melodic has Water Absorb. Okay, Melodic doesn't have Water Absorb. I have no idea what Marvel Scale is, though. The only moves that could really work are Toxic, and speaking thereof, and Sludge Wave, so... How ironic that we go for the same move. So what is Melodic going to do here? Goes for an Ice Beam. That doesn't do a lot. Sludge Wave in response. That doesn't do a lot either. I think Melodic's got some pretty good defense. And the Recover. I keep forgetting about that. Melodic could take full advantage of that Recover. Just going to let Clawitzer suffer through the Toxic. I'm not going to switch out this time. Melodic's just going to spam Recover. Let Toxic take its toll. So Snorlax is going to be up next. I think Melodic is pretty heavy. So I'm going to go for a Body Slam. Good call with the immunity. Body Slam in response doesn't do a lot. Toxic Melodic down to 2. Melodic, I think, should go for a recover here. Goes for a Scald instead. And Body Slam will take Melodic down. So who's going to be up next? It is Poltegeist. So I'm going to go for a Heavy Slam here. My opponent goes for a Shell Smash. Probably has a White Herb, and there it is. And the Heavy Slam does a pretty solid amount down to the yellow. So Poltegeist has to go all in with an attacking move. And goes into a Ghost type with the Strength Sap. Might have some extra defense on him too. I don't know what's going on. You know what? I'm going to try it and see what happens. There's Strength Sap again. Oh, it lowers the attack as well as Poltegeist recovers onto full. So I'm going to switch out. Granbull is the Pokemon heading in. Strength Sap lowers attack again. Poltegeist is just going to spam that move, isn't he? Now into Shadow Ball. And that's a one-hit KO. If Poltegeist plays his cards right, it might be a sweep. Because I really don't know how to deal with this. Just trying to go in with hard-hitting attacking moves, stored power as well. Earthquake sets up the cursed body to disable it, so we'll go for Energy Ball if we can, and we cannot. Shadow Ball takes down Cradily. So back onto Snorlax here. Gonna try a Heavy Slam if we can. There's the Strength Sap again for Poltegeist to recover to full. Goes back down into the yellow though. And the Strength Sap again. Poltegeist is just going to spam that. Disables the Earthquake as well. Akuruko says, I could do this all day. Oh boy, he is really trying to stall this one out, isn't he? Snorlax down to the yellow. I might have to switch out here. Can Poltegeist read that and go for the Shadow Ball? Doesn't even need to, because the stored power already puts Dusknoir into the red. Gonna try a Thunder Punch if we can. We cannot. Poltegeist has completely swept us here. Stored power again. That is game. Fair play. Pretty strong roster to go up against. And I'm gonna go for Dusknoir here. Clodsire is my opponent. What's his typing? Poison and Ground. So I'm gonna go for a Poltergeist. My opponent going for Spikes. And Poltergeist puts Clodsire into the yellow. Got to capitalize with an attack or something. Goes for a Stealth Rock instead, and Poltergeist will be enough to take Clodsire down. It's going to be a bit difficult to deal with the switch-ups, though. Got a shiny Chandelure up next. So I'm going to go Poltergeist again. And Shadow Ball puts Dusknoir down to the yellow. Poltergeist in response. How is Chandelure immune to that? That is not good for me. Shadow Ball again, and Dusknoir is out. So what I am going to do is... I don't have a single fighting type move, do I? Next time I work with this team, I think we're going to need to make some changes. Sandaconda's going to be up next. And I'm going to go for a Hurricane with this one. There is a Flamethrower. Sandaconda already down to the red. And the Hurricane doesn't do anything. Can we try a Stone Edge at least? Flamethrower takes down Sandaconda once again. I don't know why I said once again. So Snorlax is going to be up next. So I'm going to see if we can make this work. They go for a switch onto Breloom. And the Heavy Slam puts Breloom down into the yellow. Ice Punch could be a good call. There's a Drain Punch. And Breloom recovers back onto full. Eventually goes down into the red. As Snorlax ends up being paralyzed. Breloom with another Drain Punch. And Snorlax is out. So my next Pokemon is going to be Granbull. And I'm going to go for a Play Rough. They could go for a switch. They should go for a switch, but they don't. They go for a close combat instead. Now they go for a switch. Oh, it's because of that red card. It worked well last time, but it completely screws us over here. Staraptor goes for a protect. Gonna see if we can land a Stone Edge this time. It looks like Staraptor goes first. So what is he gonna go for? Close combat? That doesn't do a lot. Defense is lower as well. That's kind of what you get. Stone Edge will take down Staraptor here. So Skeledirge is heading out. A fire and ghost type. I think we can deal with that. Gonna go for an Earthquake. Flamethrower will be enough to take down Granbull. So Cloudster is going to be up next. And I'm gonna go for a Hydro Pump. Skeledirge could go for a switch. And they do. They go on to Breloom here. And Hydro Pump still takes Breloom down. Chandelure up next. Still has a normal type. I'm going to try and go for a Toxic here. Shadow Ball does a pretty good amount. Clawitzer down to the yellow, and Toxic misses. So let's see if Hydro Pump can work. There's a Shadow Ball again. Clawitzer is out. And Cradily remains. So I'm going to go for an Earthquake. If we can. And Flamethrower puts Cradily down to the yellow. Earthquake does a decent amount. Doesn't do a whole lot, though. So I think the next one should wrap it up. Flamethrower, Cradily down to 7%. Earthquake puts Chandelure down to the yellow. And Flamethrower will wrap it up this time. Alright, we're on to the last game of the episode here. And I'm going to start off with Clawitzer this time. My opponent goes for Bastiodon. So I'm going to go for a Hydro Pump. And it's a sturdy for Bastiodon. Hangs on at 1% and goes for a Toxic. So anything can take down Bastiodon at this point. There's the Ice Beam to do it. First KO of the game. So Sceptile's going to be up next. You know what? I could go for an Ice Beam again. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. How is it that we don't really have a lot of good options against grass types here? I'm going to go for Snorlax. And I'm going to go for an Ice Punch if we can. Energy Ball does a decent amount. Ice Punch puts Sceptile down to 9%. So I'm going for it again. They go for a switch onto Corviknight. Ice Punch doesn't do a whole lot this time. And I don't think I have any good options here against Corviknight. I'm going to go for Dusknoir. Corviknight goes for a Body Press. Well read. No damage against Dusknoir, and we could go for a Thunder Punch. Iron Head does a decent amount. Thunder Punch in response doesn't do a lot. Corviknight must have some really good defense here, and Brave Bird puts Dusknoir down to the yellow, and Poltergeist puts Corviknight down to the yellow. So I'm going to try and change it up with a Trick Room. There's the Iron Head and the Trick Room, and Dusknoir should go first next turn. And Corviknight goes for a Protect anyway. Helps Corviknight recover a little bit. Thunder Punch hits, and it's a critical hit. Corviknight's still in it, though an Iron Head takes down Dusknoir. So what I am going to do is go back to Snorlax here. And I'm going to go for an Ice Punch if we can. There's the Protect. The Trick Room still has a turn to go. Corviknight recovers onto the yellow. And they go for a switch. Times it perfectly. They handled that Trick Room into a T, and Flamethrower puts Snorlax down to the yellow, burns her as well. Earthquake in response still does a good amount of damage. Magmortar goes first and takes down Snorlax with a Flamethrower. So next up, I'm going to go for Sandaconda. And I'm going to go for an Earthquake. Actually, no. Oh, I was going to switch to Stone Edge. They read that perfectly. Alright, the Stone Edge doesn't do enough against Corviknight. The Body Press doesn't do a lot either. Gonna go for a Stone Edge again. Corviknight with the Protect. So recovers a little bit. Stone Edge hits again. Corviknight's still in it. Goes for the Iron Head. Looks to recover once again. So I'm just going to waste a Hurricane this time. So this one should do it. It hits this time, and this time Corviknight gets eliminated. needed something like that to go our way, and I'm gonna go for an Earthquake. There's a hidden power, and it's super effective to take down Sandaconda. So why didn't Magmortar go for that the first time? Gonna go for Granbull. And I'm gonna make it interesting and go for a Thunder Wave. Oh, they switch onto Gliscor and read it once again. And on top of that... Wait. Okay, so... I thought Gliscor somehow had Guts. Instead, he's got Poison Heal. So what I am going to do is go for... Play Rough. Earthquake does a pretty good amount. They go for a switch onto Magmortar. It's not very effective, but it still does enough to take Magmortar down. I think they're going to go back onto Gliscor, and they do. And the Earthquake puts Granbull down to 4%. Play Rough does a pretty good amount. Gliscor eventually recovers onto the green, though. Goes for a Protect as well. Looks to recover even more. And lands the Earthquake to take down Granbull. Gliscor almost recovered to full with that ability. All I've got remaining is Cradily, and Gliscor protects again. And now Gliscor is almost at 100% there. Goes for the Ice Fang. Facade in response doesn't do anything. The Earthquake's not going to do anything. But Gliscor goes for an Earthquake instead. Energy Ball does a pretty good amount. That Poison Heal is really putting us in trouble. And Gliscor wraps it up here with an Earthquake. I don't think we've given any of our opponents a game in this one. So if I do stick with this team for another episode, I think we're going to have to make changes here. But I guess that'll wrap up this episode of Pokémon Showdown. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll talk to you in the next video.